You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be
Winter reveals the hidden lie. Moonlight could mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise.
all the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the channel. If you have not been here before, you've been missing out, and we are glad that you are here now. My name is Elizabeth, and this is Hillbilly Crime. And we had a ball game this evening, so we were just getting home not too long ago. We had 2 ball games back to back. And my little one was running the bases, and he was going to third base, and he tried to slide into third, and he kind of didn't slide very good. And he ended up doing a somersault and landed on third base on his back. So he's a little bit banged up tonight. So please say some prayers for him. Hopefully we're going to ice his knee and switch back and forth with ice and heating pad and see if we won't have to take him to the doctor tomorrow. Hopefully it'll get better. But so we had an interesting evening so far. How is everyone? Thank you for being here. So we're a little bit late. We're not gonna run this too awful long. We are gonna listen to Sabrina's first interview. Again, one thing that we've been doing this week is we are re-listening to the victims' interviews, because they hit a little different now than the way that they did when we first heard them. That was months ago, and we have learned many things since then. And so when I listen to these now, it's like, you've just got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You cannot make this stuff up. Like, nobody could have written a book that had this much unbelievable activity going on. And there's a whole lot of stuff that hasn't been told yet. I know a whole lot of things that I can't tell yet, just because I just don't even know what to say. It's scary to reveal some of the things that were actually taking place. And they had a chance to stop it. They had a chance to investigate this. And they didn't do it. Nobody did. Nobody did. Mickey went and asked the Kentucky State Police once he found out about the civil lawsuit through a reporter who called him and asked him to comment on it. So that's how he said he found out that the civil suit had been filed. And that's how he says that he found out that Ben Fields, his deputy, was being accused of these sexual crimes against women who were in his custody under the house arrest program that they ran. He asked the Kentucky State Police to investigate these accusations, and the KSP declined to investigate Ben because they said that they were too conflicted, basically, is what they said. They were too close to his department. They worked too closely together. So they declined, said, nope, we cannot do that investigation. So who was supposed to step in? If they weren't going to do it, shouldn't the Kentucky State Police have called a different post? Somebody who, another area of KSP from a different county? Shouldn't they have come in to do an investigation of that kind if this post here worked too closely with them? I mean, it's still the police investigating the police, which we know does not happen very efficiently. How can it? But so they had a chance. They had many chances. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they knew what was going on and they just didn't want no part of it? How much grief do you think Mickey took when he was trying to get Edison Banks's little girlfriend charged or prosecuted? She was charged, but nobody would prosecute the case. Edison Banks recused himself, and they appointed Bell County's prosecutor as the special prosecutor, and she wouldn't even take Mickey's phone calls. Mickey said that he tried to call her to get the case prosecuted, and she wouldn't even return his calls. She wouldn't take his calls. She wouldn't return his calls. I don't think that she ever even entered anything on the case. And then it ended up, she filed a joint motion with the girl's defense attorney, which was probably DD, if the truth was known. I don't know that for sure, but I'm assuming it was DD. But whoever her defense attorney was filed a joint motion with the prosecutor to dismiss the charges. And she was caught with everything. I mean, you name the kind of substance, she had it in Edison Banks's vehicle. So there was a lot going on. There was a whole lot going on. Now this we're going to listen to. It's really hard to listen to it. I'm going to warn you now. It's really, really hard to hear what they're saying, and we'll try to stop and make it clear if we catch it. But you hear another man and Ned Pillersdorf, who are basically, they must be sitting right beside of them, because you hear their conversation talking over this detective and the victim, and they're trying to do a victim's interview. I mean, the level of professionalism, and this is supposed to be our Attorney General's office, the Kentucky Attorney General's office. That's like the highest law enforcement office in the state. And this is what we got from them? They ought to be ashamed of themselves over this investigation.
Yeah, but don't get Dolly was one of the right next to him when they walked outside. Okay. So when he started party, you started back because you saw an opportunity to not have to pay your price fee. That's a fee that comes in the first.
He just said, so he started flirting and you started flirting back because you saw an opportunity to not pay for your bracelet. Now, I was on fire last night, fuming over how this detective words this in an interview. And it seems to me like he puts it out there hoping that she'll catch on and she'll repeat what he has said. He's the one that's framing this in a relationship. Now, we listened to the other one last night that I think was Jennifer Hill. And we listened to the third victim the first night. I don't know who she was, but I don't think it was Sabrina, and I don't think it was Jennifer either. But regardless, this is the third one of this week that we're listening to, and he does the exact same thing to all of them. All of them. And it infuriates me. That's victim blaming, victim shaming. And as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, they have completely overlooked an entire SMEX trafficking ring. What else is it? What else can you call it? I don't know. That's exactly what it is. But
you in the court with your relations, and that's how much you're affecting relationships. I mean, you said you felt you had Was that I had to because of the ankle bracelets, or was that I had to because of the charges? Because you just mentioned you weren't worried about the charges, you were worried about the ankle bracelets. So the ankle bracelets, so the process of you feeling pressure was pressure because of the ankle bracelet fee, not because of the charges that you already had pending because of that. You must know, right? Yeah. We talked to the
You can't pay for it. You go back to jail for that. No matter what, you could be doing good for 14 years. You can't pay for it.
The reason I asked this question, I don't know if it works. Yeah. So that's a private firm that does that. So you're saying that you have that fee, and if you don't pay the fee, you go back to jail. And you didn't have the money to begin with to pay the fee. Why did you, like when you got out, I guess they offer you that, or they say, I can give you an ankle bracelet or you stay in jail.
Yeah.
So you was like, I gotta get out of jail, so I'm getting an ankle bracelet, and then we'll worry about the money. So then once you got out, then you realized you didn't have the money. You were
I
assigned.
realize how strict it was, you know, I mean.
You didn't realize all this at the beginning. So then Ben is assigned to you by the courts to watch over you because of the ankle bracelet. So you all became knowledgeable of each other. He started flirting with you. You saw that he was flirting with you. You saw an opportunity to flirt back because you didn't have the money, and you thought if you flirted back.
I don't know, it's actually, well, no, I don't know, her words, that you get mad. Then again, I just wasn't, I can pay it.
So you heard rumors that if the other girls had not paid for their room, what was the rumor that you heard that the girls, what did they do in order not have to pay? Have sex with? So you heard that the other girls would have to have sex with him, and he would have to pay for the bracelet. So when he started flirting with you, did you think, all right, if I have sex with him, I don't have to pay for the bracelet because of the rumors? So that instigated the conversations, and then eventually led to what happened in the courthouses. And like I said, I told you before, this is no judgment. I do not look at you with any difference, and I look at that detective. That's not how I work. Because, like I said, they make erasers on pencils because we all make mistakes in life. We all get doing stuff. You got on drugs.
This was not her mistake. She didn't just commit some mistake. This man had no right to do what he did. Now, he propositioned these women. He groomed them to be there. He's nice to them. He acts like he's doing them a favor, when in all actuality, they probably never should have been arrested in the first place half the time. But that's how they play this. We're going to take you to jail, and then we're going to barter with your freedom. They might as well have had a freaking dungeon in the bottom of that courthouse. I don't know how. I don't know for the life of me how. There has not been one agency, not one, that has come in here and even looked into this stuff. Because if I have found all that I have found, they sure as hell could have found it too. Anybody who would have even tried would have found it. This is just, I mean, it's absolutely inexcusable.
Some of us do everything. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. So don't sit here and think that I am looking down on you, because that is not the case. Okay. Like I tell you, I'm here for evidence. I'm here to look at facts, whether it's you or for him or anybody else. That's just what my job is to sign, and I think that's how it is. So don't feel bad.
And y'all know when I was doing that, but I was time my first day. I did when I realized I got the same house arrest.
So when you were, so let's go back. So you said that, you saw an opportunity not to pay for the bike. And then once you got it, you and his relationship progressed. Did you have sex with him? Then he took the bracelet off, or did he take the bracelet off at the beginning of the relationship?
Yeah, I took the bracelet. I was like,
So he didn't make you pay fees or anything before you ever even had sex?
Yeah.
So sex came how much like time frame?
way later.
Way later.
Like the opposite was not. And that's good. Because like I would have to find like her gonna find, you know.
If I retired
I
today,
don't have 16 because
I would definitely hit the blast.
I lost some book from him. I liked it.
$1,500
He was a rehab. He kept him.
clear.
Now, how professional do you think that was for them to record this interview with them other two over there yapping as loud as what they were? And she's sitting there trying to tell him about a sexual assault. Several of them that have happened at the hand of a law enforcement member. How could they even play this in court? How could this be used as evidence? Because you can't even hear it. I mean, we can hear some of it. But it's not, I mean, this is worse than the depositions typos. So unprofessional. I mean, you know, we may be hillbillies. We may be poor people. I know most of us are here. That doesn't mean that we are any less human or that we deserve any less human or civil rights as anybody else in the rest of this country. I'm speechless.
It's okay with that, so it's one of the
But
sections.
that time to
So I told my wife, I said,
for 6
at
weeks.
some point, that's gonna just sort of leave.
So
Take that check and go full time.
you started flirting. You saw an opportunity not to have to pay the bracelet. You continue to flirt with him because of the.
How many times has he said that already? We're not even 7 minutes into this interview, and he's already said it 4 times that I know of. You talk about, this has to be intentional. I mean, how could it be anything else? How can it be anything other than that? Who does any kind of performance evaluations over these people? Like, do they not come in and listen to this stuff and even see if they've done it in a competent manner? This is outrageous.
Rumors you heard from other girls that they were flirting and had sex with him. So you thought, did you think that, all right, if I have sex, then I'm not going to have that? But you're saying that didn't happen until after the bracelet had been off for a long period of time.
He would kiss me with my child and stuff like that.
Okay, but y'all were having a more of a conversation than anything that you would have
I
anybody.
heard that, but she said, yeah.
Okay.
I was listening.
You said something about you really thought this was a lie. Is that meaning because you didn't have to brace it on and you were kind of getting to
I had read like,
define the rules?
yeah, like I had read it, and I was like, I was so lost in my mind. What's going on? You know, this is not believable. I'm telling you, I'm out driving. That was the number one rule that I'm driving. And wow, it ain't good lucky you know here. I'm high there. Well, I am. Got him like sitting deeper, cut me on charges, and this is my
If you wouldn't have heard those rumors, would you approach him like you did and flirted with him?
The guy like whatever.
We got a conviction there.
I remember working there, and
Richie record. Who was the judge? Bill.
You were in a position where you had a lot of answers and a lot of questions to ask. You were in a spot where nobody wants to get in trouble, and you saw an opportunity. Is that right?
You saw an opportunity. He's got her crying. She's freaking crying right now.
I remember all the issues.
You're fine. With his when that transaction or that relationship take place, was it the same? Was you needing money more than worried about the? Because you said when I talked to you, you said something about you were trying to he would help you out of trouble. Was that help you out of trouble? Does that mean money or does that mean a charge?
So they're helping these girls out with their charges by getting them drug court, getting them rehab, getting them house arrest. So they tell these girls when they first get arrested, we're going to help you. And it's the, what is it? The leading the lamb to the slaughter is exactly what they're doing. My dog Rex, is there two audios playing at the same time? No, that's what I'm talking about. You've got Ned Pillersdorf, her lawyer, and I guess it's one of the other detectives sitting there beside of them or wherever they're sitting. They must be close enough because that's all you hear are Ned and that other guy sitting over there just yapping about retirement. Oh, when I get retired. Who gives a shit, buddy? This one, we are talking about an alleged organized crime ring. That's what we're talking about. There's more than one person here, but it doesn't look like nobody wanted to even investigate. Nobody wanted to hear it. How did they think this was even professional? Like, what were they going to do with this audio? It doesn't even make a lot of sense. Why would they even record it? If it was going to be this low quality, if it was going to be this, I mean, if he's only going to sit there and accuse her of seducing a law enforcement officer, that's what he's basically doing. He's accusing her of seducing him. She saw the opportunity to get out of trouble, and she seduced this man. And when we listen to Ben's interview, you're also going to be just as enraged as me. I was mad the first time. Imagine how mad we're going to be the second time we listen to it, because the way that this detective talks to Ben is a lot different than how he talks to these women. And he's the suspect. They're the victims. But he interrogates these women more than he does. He plays his buddy. There wasn't no compassion or empathy for these women at all. They look at them as prostitutes. They look at them as rug addicts. That's it. That's all they're worth. I beg to differ, you all. I beg to differ. Jesus loves them. He died for the sinners, not those who think they're saints. He died for us all, though. Even those.
They come back spots. People have to do things that you wouldn't have to. And you look back and think, that's not just you. It's everybody. We all get spots in our lives where we have to do things, or we think that we have to do things in order to continue to go forward. And I understand that. So you're fine. Don't feel bad. We're just here. We're here to try to figure out all that stuff, and that's fine.
You have to be gone by 57.
So you're saying with these films, when that relationship got told to you, did he say you need to have a relationship with you?
He's talking about Uncle Bill Meade right now. So Ben basically pimps her out to his uncle, Bill Meade, who's in his 80s, who's in prison right now for sexually abusing a 14 or 15-year-old girl. He was the fire chief at a fire department, a local fire department. So he was a bigwig and had all the connections to the top. And Ben basically pimps her out to his uncle. So that's what we're listening to now.
He could help you out. So when Bill called you, did you see another opportunity? So you saw an opportunity to get off house arrest, so you were going to do it.
But they cannot exceed, even with their overtime.
And we got to get the details, okay? Because that's where I got to look at it. It may not think something, you may think something.
She saw another opportunity.
That's just how it works. When you and Bill started,
He said that he ate time.
did he flirt with you? You said you was a flirt. So you start flirting back. Okay, you didn't flirt back with him. But then how did the arranger, did you say, what happened?
And I think it makes, I can tell you that 2 years in, my friend that I worked with, he was
Tell him that, all right, I'll have a little sex with you, but it's not for free. Did you make any statements like that with him? How did you come up with that? Well, you just did it, and then you, he was implying that you're going to get money back. Secondly, I can't remember how many times you wrote it down. What many times did you say you had time, did you see an opportunity to get money so you would call him?
No, I never.
Did you would just wait till he called you?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, did you ever have to, like, all right, I need,
This man, this should be criminal. What this man is doing to her should be a crime in itself. I don't know how this is not witness tampering or something to that effect. This is really, really inexcusable, man. This just unbelievable. And remember, this would have never came out if Mickey hadn't have done what he did. I'm not taking up for him. I'm just saying, if he hadn't have done what he did, none of this would have come out. None of it. It was all just pushed right under the rug. Nobody cared, and nobody was getting any of this stuff until the big networks started putting in public records requests. Oh, no. We would never have heard it.
I need to call him, or I need to go see him to get some money. It was always him approach you.
Yeah, I've been coming here all the time.
Also you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to call him.
No.
All right. Any of those times, for 3 or 4 or more, did you, when he called, you needed money, so you went and made it? Because you were in a bad way at that point in time. Not now. Bad.
I remember calling.
Barbara is still at.
And you were like,
Barbara's probably on her 29th year. 28.
I know.
She just transferred downstairs. We got Alex.
I wish I worked for 2 years.
Everybody's used.
And, you know,
There's nobody left.
I didn't have any kids, I bet you never went on hell.
In the last 2 years, there's no problem.
I cannot figure out when I got $100.
We lost Sean at cancer.
And I'm trying to walk in your shoes here to try to think of, you know,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, so I need to try to think. So when you, those first initial contact with Ben, when you started flirting, you said he started flirting with you. What were the flirts?
Today, I think it was. You had somebody like me. Things like that, so.
So when you saw that, then that's when you realized, I've heard rumors.
Yeah.
This is my opportunity not to pay my bracelet if I start flirting back.
Barbara is a
At that point,
individual. She's very analytical, but she.
if you thought that, did you feel pressure then? Or you just felt this is an opportunity?
No, but that's
Whether she's interested or not,
I said that jail, what
meets
that's
criteria.
what's
You'll successfully prosecute. You go out.
and I knew that if I didn't have that $85, I knew like jail, it didn't matter.
So, unless.
And when I said pressure, I understood you felt pressure to go back to jail.
Then they'll either assign
If
it
you started flirting with him, you didn't, I'm talking about, you didn't feel pressure from him. You felt pressure from going back to jail. But you didn't feel pressure from him. The conversation y'all were having, you didn't feel pressure between you and the deputy. It was pressure.
You didn't feel pressure between you and the deputy. You didn't feel pressure from him. You felt pressure from going back to jail, but you didn't feel any pressure from him. Dude, he's the one who's putting her back in jail.
From you and I don't want to go back to jail, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you're explaining it to me? Okay. I'm just trying to get, I'm trying to put my feet in your shoes, and I'm walking through this and coming up.
They every damn one need to be charged. This is absolutely, I mean, this, I don't know how it's not intentional. No way.
So really, through this process,
I wouldn't trust an investigation he did for nothing.
Did the deputy ever Or is that the pressure that you felt from the jail, the conversation? Because that's what I was saying earlier, in the conversation, I didn't see, you know, I saw a conversation between two adults.
Yeah, I didn't know. But I also knew that, you know, I didn't have that. It wasn't for such a good person, you know what I mean? But I knew that his brother, I didn't have it for
So it's pressure from the situation, not necessarily pressure from him. Is that what you said? Okay.
And I went to school and I've asked him, took him up to the, to him,
I don't know about you, but I'm an old guy and I can hear.
I'm getting that way, but
I hear. Shannon's he's a loud boisterous person.
you know, when
So
I got out and, you know, saying the password and how it worked. I went to work. I'm not gonna pay for it, you know, at first. Once I do that thing, I was like emotion. Give me for, hey, you know, have faith in him. You know, I was not even with it. You know, well, it does it good. You know, I think I've been clean 18 years. And I tried to do that thing again. You know, I made it emotional. Please let me go. I'll keep the rest of them. Pay for me. Help me. Somebody help
you
me.
didn't have money.
I have money. I have no money. And then say, well, if you don't have money, you have to choose something again. Oh,
So let's go back over this again. And before we just step away from they're talking, I can't hear. So you're saying that Jen started flirting with you. You had heard rumors about other women having sex with men in order to get out of the bracelet fee. So when he started flirting with you, you said that you saw an opportunity not to pay the fee because you didn't have any money.
because I say that.
So you said in your mind,
I said that to him.
you told him that.
Yeah. We'll figure out. And I said, okay, I'm gonna look for that opportunity.
$85, that's a lot.
And that's on the top and
Okay. And then you were saying the pressure you felt wasn't from the deputy during your all's relationship, like during like the sex. You didn't feel pressure from the deputy to have sex with the deputy. You felt pressure because you didn't want to go back to jail.
right. And I knew, and you know, he had a job to do. I didn't have for ego for him. I was gonna have a job to do. You know, and if I kept over
Okay, you just said he didn't pressure you,
No.
but he had a job.
Yes.
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. You know, a job to do. And I got that, you know. And I said I wouldn't let him anything.
If
And he said like an like I could talk to him.
your boyfriend wouldn't have found out, that's what brought this all to head, right? This is what you said. If he wouldn't have found out.
Actually, he didn't even know this was him. But being I read when he went to drug court that day, it was happening. Judge Press said that he got a mysterious phone call the night before that he was I had told him that you know, like something else for that, you know, the extra tail. Well, he got this mysterious phone call with me and I lived here. And he's like, you know, she's too big to go on the line. He's like, we don't live together. And so he, well, I told you about it. And so I told you, you know, about being, and so what was the
If he wouldn't have found this out and this all came to a head, would you still be on your ankle bracelet program?
yeah, so
So you and Ben, would you all still be probably having a relationship? Would y'all would still be normal, you think?
yeah, so you know, I was doing anything until that trial came.
Until the what
She
came?
might talk,
You were gonna do anything until the trial came.
Yeah.
And that's because to your trial, you're still on the ankle bracelet. So once your ankle bracelet left, were you gonna, you know, that would have been the end of your old relationship?
absolutely. He's married up, and I hate that. But then, you know, it was hard in my life. It was
Now, this is the part where she just said Ben was married. He just asked her if she would have continued the relationship. And she said no. She said Ben was married. And I hate that. They have her feeling guilty that she was somehow cheating on Ben's wife with Ben. This poor woman, this is exactly what I'm talking about addicts having good hearts. I've seen more addicts that would take the shirt off their backs and give it to you than some of these greedy SOBs that wouldn't pee on you if you was on fire. They have her feeling guilty for Angie. She feels bad for Angie.
Okay, I know what, I have 18 years old cheated on me. I can imagine what she's going through. And I hate that.
That bothers you that you all had this relationship with
I
her.
do, you know, I can't imagine. And then, yeah, papers, my heart breaks for her. It's the first time I've ever been.
Why does your heart break for her?
Being her, you know, it cheated on me. I mean, I had to advertise the papers. I mean, the embarrassment on her, embarrassment on, you know, all the, me, and especially the women, you know, being new, I didn't realize how, being new was you've done it before, and I didn't realize that. And that kissed me, I was that down, you know.
But like you said, you saw an
I
opportunity.
did, I was thinking, and if it's the same opportunity, taking chicken, I didn't know what else to do.
So you're saying that if you go tonight and get arrested, and same opportunity came, you would do this again
If I was homeless, you know, in that position.
in that position, of not having money and
Yes, in a strange county.
He just said if you got arrested again, you would do this again. Like he was putting it on her again.
You know, I didn't know what to do. You know, no, and I've done.
I don't know how he lays his head down at night and goes to sleep. Most of these people down here I've found out are allegedly. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if they have to do that to be able to sleep at night. The dirty, dirty tactics that they use. Shame on him.
And I feel real for that, and I struggle with that. But I also know she was doing, he was right. So, you know, I'm sure no one knows I'm not driving. I get maybe that's not right. That's just my head so bad.
She said it's not right. It F's with her head so bad. She said earlier in the recording, I don't know if you all heard it or not, but she said this had been the most traumatizing thing she had ever been through in her life. And this is Sabrina. Sabrina is still alive. She's the one that Ben actually had to do 6 months over. The other girl, Jennifer Hill, that we listened to last night, I think it was, she's no longer with us. She passed away before she ever saw any justice. And 6 months wasn't justice for what was going on down there. It was not. Absolutely not. These poor women have been re-traumatized through this process. For her to have to sit there with 3 men, 2 of them just acting like, you know, they hadn't seen each other in 20 years. It was a big reunion or something. I don't even know. Nobody was listening to her. And all this fool was doing was pushing his own agenda. Because he sure wasn't taking nothing she said. He just switched it around and fixed it to go with his narrative. She was putty in his hands, thinking this man was here to help her, thinking that this man was here to actually listen. to what they did to her. Oh, no.
Because I thought he was a good guy.
So when he started flirting with you, you thought he was a good guy. You didn't think that.
But he said, yeah, he was a good guy. He was like, oh, yeah, I was just doing it. You must have that first month, so I could go to rehab.
But also at that point, though, did you think, all right, I because you told me you see an opportunity to not have to, virtually to get out of trouble while you're in trouble, I guess, because of the ankle bracelet. At what point did you think that this was a good guy?
The way he talked, what he talked about, and you know, and really, I was too young with my wife. I'm like, oh, this man.
You know, that's why they put a rating on him.
Yeah, when I sit and I think back, I thought,
Don't beat yourself up. It happened, it happened. You're going to move forward.
Okay. Let me stop sharing it and we'll try it again. Sorry, y'all. See if this is any better. I don't know if it will be or not, but
You also seem to be doing better than you were.
went home and
So it's, you know, it's 1 foot forward, and that's what you got to do.
I wanted,
Is there anything else that you want to tell me? And like I said, non-judgmental. Do not judge you any different. Not judge somebody I walk through the door today. It's nothing to me. I look at the evidence. I look at what I can do to try to look at this case, and then I pull it together, and I give it to supervisors and maybe other prosecutors, and then it goes above my head. And
I think if you look, you know, I don't worry about the stuff. I know the truth is that, and before we figure out a lot more because we got just her and you know.
like I said, I'm not going to make you a promise today that there's going to be somebody smoking and dying. That's going to be the next thing you know, Mr. Hillbilly is going to jail.
I know what I want with it. I know we don't. If they cut me yet, but maybe, yeah, I'll be very upset about that. That's something you've got to me, and it is good. You know, and I thought that if I can, maybe this, I could help somebody else. But take it, I can help. And that's why I'm not so serious. Shit went in my head. I won't go out and start. I got home last night. It was for 25 minutes. Scared me. You know, I can feel you. You know, I don't know what it is, but you know,
Like I said, we're going to look at the evidence, and I'm not familiar with anybody in that county, so we're not. It doesn't make any difference if I live there or not. You know.
he said he didn't know anybody in that county. So if he didn't know, Ben, if he didn't know any of these people, any of these players, what does that say? That he would come in and investigate this so poorly for someone that he didn't even know. That's even worse, systemic issues. If you would do this for somebody you didn't even know. I mean, I don't know how this is not witness tampering. How is it not? He completely took every one of them's story and completely flipped the script to make them the suspects. They were the ones who used their sexuality to seduce this poor, dumb hillbilly cop.
I work for the Attorney General. We stand for what is right. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the Pope.
I was like, the kid of mine, the cousin stuff in, and she took around and talked to him. Just for that. But I was so terrified. And so I come there and come back.
Obviously, you know, we're here,
I don't know, I was so
but I want you to understand, like I said,
I don't want to This is like,
That's right. We look at facts and then it goes, and then whatever happens, happens.
I prayed and I'm grateful this week. You know, I'm so grateful. So that's all I want. Seriously, I can't say it. It's only that one.
Well, you know, I think that what you told me today is really, you know, we're looking for messages, we'll look at some more, obviously there's tons more on that. But I think I see, you know, like you saw an opportunity. And that was at the beginning, right? So, we'll see if we
Take
message
it back, yeah. Yeah. That's all.
And when you say see the facts, are you talking about the messages?
Yeah, and yeah.
What other facts?
Just like and how I think you start looking into it, you see other women. Okay. Even in power, he said even there shouldn't be no part anyway at all because he hates
We walked outside the room.
I apologize.
Shannon, because I can't hear. I explained that to her.
Yeah, Mr. Phillips, something he,
Conversation. I want to go ahead and bring you back up to speed, Shannon, if you want to. Explain to me.
He didn't, that was the other detective. So there were two detectives who went there, and he sat there that whole time. How long is that? This interview is like 51 minutes long. We're already at 28 minutes. So you had one over there BSing with Ned for half of the interview, and he didn't hear. Of course, he couldn't have heard anything she said. And now he's going to get play by play from this fool who's been given the narrative that she saw an opportunity. She saw an opportunity. Let's say it 10 times. Maybe it'll make it true.
Go kind of. I can hear you better. Okay. James got a big mouth. I can hear him from over there. You're kind of quiet. All right. So I'm gonna try to do the abbreviation here. Let me speed. She says what's happened here is she's got arrested in Letcher. They gave her an opportunity to get out of jail or to get on a home ankle bracelet. So at any point stop me and either fill in or say hang on. So she gets there and she's like, all right, I gotta get out of jail, which we all will do that. And I'll figure out how to worry about the ankle bracelet when I get it. So we get the ankle bracelet, and then she realizes it's $85 a week that she has to pay. And if she doesn't pay that, then you go to reporting every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We don't pay this, we go back to jail. So she's then assigned to deputy, Mr. Ben Fields, right? And Ben Fields is. So they become in a relationship as in he starts flirting with her by saying, you're a pretty lady, similar stuff like that. This action says that she sees an opportunity. She's in a bad spot. She's on drugs. They want to go back to jail because jail is bad, and I can never been there, but I understand that. So we're in a bad spot for a while. So
you heard rumors about being.
She had heard rumors about being taking care of other women's ankle bracelets because they had sex. So she told me that she saw an opportunity to get out of the ankle bracelet, not out of the charges that were pending, out of the ankle bracelet fee. She's not worried about the charges. She can stand on her own 2 feet about that, but she was worried about the ankle bracelet. So she saw an opportunity to get out of that because of the rumors she heard. So then she started flirting back with Mr. Fields, and then the relationship progressed to the point of the sex in the judge's chambers. And at that point, the boyfriend, he found out about this relationship.
Well, he knew that being it might be one of my bracelets. But I always denied any kind of relationship. I said, we just trying to help me do a good job. So, I mean, they had told me they didn't have a person. But when you go in drug court, and she ordered to say I had been there, and she said, and he said, I tell you exactly what he said, and he said the exact same thing. But of course, I denied it. I said, no, they ain't done me it right. But that's when he started talking, and he said, I know you had sex with him. I was like, no, I don't know.
So finds out, starts getting mad, right? So at that point, then she tells Mr. Fields, all right, to give it up, I guess, or what? We just got caught.
I'd certainly tell. And I had a piece of that thing, but I didn't know who this girl was. And I said, you know this girl, and been around somewhere. I'm not married, you know, so it's okay. I said, girl, you know, I just want to give, I thought to be real, this is on the phone. He is. I said, but, you know, just in case. Yeah, I heard you really know about it. You know, when something, I don't know what to do. I've been through, you know, those things before. You know, just I didn't know that was giving him a great detail. And the video very Becky.
And what was her name? And she works for drug court?
No, she's in the
She's in, she's just a, she's a,
She used to be a hustler.
how do you think she knew?
She used to be a hustler. And everything.
So you think?
And I guess she told you, oh, yeah, same thing happened. She took it, you know, not paying for it, but, you know, there was this called sister. And so,
Once you told Ben this, you know, we've been caught, then is that when you and Ben's relationship quit?
no. Yes, to drug court, and then he says to get that phone call, and then he was living together. Ben still calling me, at that point, y'all didn't know what was going on, because, they issued an EPO. Men were not supposed to talk. They did, it's not like that, I mean, they got, I don't know, heard that from of my, because when him, I thought, we're not really know what's going on. So, you know, you didn't get it sitting there, and he's got 10, 11 or anything, we're not gonna stop talking. You know, no, I say that, so, you know, yeah, it's Thomas fault on that. But yeah, it's probably like, what, you know, what, I said, what the hell? So I mean, I was really sick, like, that's my landlord, and his office gave me business. I couldn't even get off the couch before I was supposed to. And, you know, when I was over there, I said, what the hell are you doing? What is going on? You know, what do I have to get jail for APA? What the hell? And he was like, if I didn't see this phone call, and I, you know, it was, I was like, oh my God. I'll be in, you know, being, you know, that. And, but he didn't even change the address, but he still had it listed as mine. And I was just sitting there, I went, I looked in both my pictures, I did my address for the day.
So we're up to the point now, like I said, you have now had a falling out over Ben. So did you quit talking to Ben, or did Ben quit talking to you? Because at some point, in that conversation, your all's relationship
Yeah.
stopped.
Thursday before I went to jail, he called. No, you know, especially because I got papers from the hospital Friday. He said, he just took it, and I texted him, and kind of.
And then the warrant came down for escape.
He told me I had a warrant before he quit talking, but he said he was going to, yeah.
So he told you you had a warrant, but it was for an EPO, not escape.
He said, you need to come turn yourself in. I said, well, I've got coverage restrictions. I said, being sick, I said, I really am sick. And he's like, I'll tell him that I'm sick. I said,
What do you think prompted the escape charge?
I think being the, he gets like an over-contact turn. And it's, I'd be going to do it. And he's going to do it. You know, he goes, they go back to what they're trying to do. Next step was, and I didn't have to, I didn't have to, so I had to take the other direction. Freezing, I had to take it, and took the time, doing the program,
So once you two, or excuse and you start having trouble, did that cause you to have trouble with Ben?
He started calling me.
What caused you and Ben though to quit talking?
I don't know, he just quit. I honestly, if this is my head, I don't know. That was his way out, escape. He didn't know what else to do. He just said, how, and he didn't escape, they get put in jail. It was a nice guy, because he talked to you nice and friendly, and he said, that's going to help you. I said, well, I'll go to it. But let's just kind of just, yeah. It traumatized me that bad. But I would kept myself at the same thing. And I've been not doing that since I've been in jail. I've been doing my will. That's a traumatizing thing. To him, I say that when kids would escape, he thought he would get me to come over and turn myself in. You know, several minutes, he was going to believe me. That was awesome. I was expecting. That's the simple. So that was his way out.
But you, and I'll go back and ask this again, is you, I found out, and that's what brought you to tell Ben, Stacey found out. If you all were doing good and everything was fine, what caused Ben all of a sudden to go get a warrant? Did you quit talking to Ben? You know, at this whole point in time, you and Ben are still talking, so he still had knowledge of where you were at, and that's it. Is there any point that you just quit talking to him and he had no knowledge where you were for 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, I said, you're there. He just quit talking.
Did he say anything why or
I know that, he acted normal. He said, one of the last ones he said was, tell him, I said, but I don't know, I go back to the papers again, I got my son. I said, you know, get peace in there. And I called, and not only did I call, I had just to help. I mean, everybody was calling, hey, she's not trying to escape, you know. And those are the things I didn't have a warrant. The only time I had a warrant, if you don't know, I didn't know him. And, you know, to call the judge, like, I really don't want to get involved. But, you know, he also, he knows what had been now. And he's like, oh, I should go to it. He's been so much better.
so then you get arrested, you're in jail in Letcher again. And is that when you contact an attorney?
I believe you got for, I got arrested.
Because you knew the warrant.
I never had a warrant, and I didn't know what for, didn't know what to do. Ben wouldn't answer me, you know, I didn't know what to do. I'd been sick with COVID, I had an excuse, I thought, I said, what are you saying, it was sold in on a Wednesday or something?
Do you know, when you say,
That's what he said that he had put that I was on compliance. And he said, when you used that excuse, he said, it didn't have to be, I said, I'm compliant with what? I said, I ain't with you on a Wednesday at 4 o'clock, and I didn't know until the city police reached me that it was.
I didn't, but you had already contacted your prior to going.
Yeah, right there. It wouldn't take 2 hours. That's right.
Did you know the state charge at that point at the 2 hours? You just knew that somebody, who do you think had got an EPO warrant on you? You thought you were getting ready to go get it.
Yeah,
Did you think you were getting ready to go get over the ankle bracelet or what?
for being told me, the judge issued a warrant to go to jail. So I thought I was going to jail. That's what we told me.
Why did you contact your attorney? I'm missing that.
Well, he called, and I thought, or I might have called him for who knows. I said, what the hell? I mean, you know, I'm testing. He's like, and he didn't know what was on. And he said, well, this is what they're doing. They get a phone call. You know, working, you know, being at the call, they get a phone call, this will happen. I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He said, what about, he called me, the attorney. I said, I don't know what to do. know what, I didn't know, I was at my wit's end.
Scared going back to jail.
Scared from the-
I understand. So let me get this straight. 'Cause you elaborated a little bit more there. So he contacts you and says, this is what happens when Ben calls, it's a warrant for escape.
I didn't know, but still at that point, there was enough escape, still confused of what he wants for.
You just knew that Ben's got a warrant on him. So he calls and says, all right, this is how it's happened with other girls. Ben gets warrants on you.
He's like, I almost got, she's got a report, you know, she's not, it was so, you know, so we're arguing over this.
So Ben gets a warrant, says that Ben's got a warrant on you, right?
No, being told me, I don't know.
Ben told you, okay. So then you contact her to contact you. And you contact them, and then that's how this works.
No, he said, this is what, he said, there you go, boyfriend, Ben's lying. He said, this is, you know, because I'm thinking that, you know, he did all this. You know, he went to drug court that day and started him. He's like, no, you go, boyfriend. He said, I got there, and he said, this, I said, how you doing? And I said, doing great. He said, well, I got a little phone call about you last night.
So then at that point, you realize Ben's just double crossed you. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, everybody, you know, he's trying to say that. And I get that. It's caught.
So now,
I'm taking notes. I haven't done it. Yeah.
so now you know your opportunity that you saw earlier is not working. So are you thinking, all right, I've done this, and now you went and got a warrant on me. I'm getting to go to jail, so you feel like, hey, I've got to contact an attorney because I don't want to go back to jail.
Yeah, he would answer.
Because Ben wouldn't answer.
The way that he just said that was putting every bit of this on her, like she was retaliating against him because he was just doing his job. He had to just do his job and get a warrant on her. And so in retaliation, because she saw her opportunity wasn't working anymore. Are you joking me? I don't remember this. We listened to this the first time a long time ago. And I don't remember hearing it to this extent then as I do now. I guess maybe because I know all the things that I know now, this is just so much more absurd, maybe. But it just, now he's flipped it completely around on her. I'm surprised they didn't try to charge her criminally for like filing a false report or something. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
No, because they, no, but why didn't you answer me? No, but I called him, I mean, I didn't just go straight to the attorney. You can see, what the hell's going on? I called the clerk's office over there. I called everybody. Kevin Mullins, I had 2 courts by Zoom with him. And one was with the EPO, and said that when we went off the thing, and I never knew Kevin Mullins, said that, you know, even me, boy, that girl's in some big trouble. She got away.
Okay, Crystal said she still can't make out what's being said. And I'd say some of it too. She doesn't sound like she's got teeth in. And we've kind of got a hillbilly way of talking. So she seems to have picked up on what he just did. She seems defensive. She seems like she's gotten, you know, somewhat defensive. She said, not because he said, oh, so you just went and went talked to a lawyer. So you went straight to a lawyer, he said. And she said, no, I didn't go straight to a lawyer. She said, I called Ben. And I was like, what the hell? What's going on? I'll try to mediate a little bit.
A big one for her. And they didn't say what. And I went, what? So, you know, like, I'm calling everybody for somebody help me, please. I'm not turning around. I'm, you know, what do y'all know? I'm here. I'm doing my report.
She said she started calling everybody. Somebody help me, please. She said, I'm not trying to run, because they had hit her with an escape warrant. And she hadn't escaped. She was trying to get help. Same way that other girl said. She said that she had been arrested and held in the jail for 3 months. And they make these girls think that this is like legitimate arrests, like they deserve these warrants, like they did something they weren't supposed to be doing. She said earlier, she said, I know he has a job to do. I know he just has to do his job. They've got these women so groomed that they think that they are, just like she said a minute ago, she felt sorry for Angie because Ben was cheating on his wife. But these women were being forced into this position, or they had to go sit down there in that nasty old jail, which I heard, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I was told that they don't hold state inmates down there anymore because the DOC came and got all the state inmates and took them out. They told me why, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't have any documentation or anything to prove that. So, but I've been in that jail. I know what it's like down there. It's awful. I only stayed one night. These women had to stay down there for however long they decided to hold them. Oh, I mean, I had to breathe. I have to take a breath. This is a lot. This is a lot that it just doesn't seem like anybody even cares about. It's really a shame. Thank you, honey. Yeah, human trafficking is a thing. Sex trafficking is a real thing. It's a real thing. There's so much I want to say. And I got to bite my tongue.
See it. And I can explain to them, I'm not letting, check in before, we say it through 4. I've not done that in so long, principle.
She said earlier when you and Ned were talking that, if she hadn't found out and this blow up wouldn't have happened between her and Ben, that her and Ben's relationship would have continued up until trial for her charges.
I mean, for that concern.
For the ankle bracelet. And she said that once she got off the ankle bracelet through the courts, she was going to end the relationship with her and Ben because she didn't need Ben anymore.
Well, I hear that.
Because she didn't need Ben anymore, he said.
You don't get hit with a skate before
Nobody's really made it to the point. He hit him with a skate. And my thing.
She said Ben hits him with escape beforehand.
Oh, yeah. I've done anything out there to get to.
Have you had any contact with Ben?
She said she was just trying to get to April, which, my cats, which was when her trial was. I think that's what she said. She was just trying to make it until then. I mean, think about it. Once you get in that system, There has to be an end somewhere. But this rehab and courts and house arrest system that they all put in down there kept them in a revolving door all the time, and kept them indefinitely with the drug court. Think about my friend. She took a 2-year drug court program, never had a dirty drug test. Not one time did she pee dirty. And they kept her in for 4 years. 4 years. Kept putting her back at the front, putting her back at the front, putting her back at the front for little sanctions. But never a dirty urine test. I'm telling you, it was like they had their own playhouse down there that was camouflaged as a courthouse. How can you, man.
That's your escape charge, you've been arrested. Have you tried to contact him? And he's not tried to contact you? How about any of his family? What did he say?
She said his Uncle Bill called. So that's Uncle Bill Meade. Bill called her and told her that she needed to tell them, the detectives, that nothing happened. And don't say nothing, he said. Pretty much, don't say nothing.
Nothing happened, and that was between them.
Nothing happened, and that was between her and him. That detective, Shannon, said, when did you get that call? He called her after she got out of jail. What day do you think it was? All they got to do is get their phone records. Why ain't these people getting the records to corroborate this stuff? I mean, surely they did, right? Surely they did. They got Ben's Facebook messages and Mickey's. Those weren't Mickey's. Those were Ben's. All of those in the discovery, I guess, were all just Ben's records. And there was like 15,000 pages or something. I started to go through all that stuff. I guess I'm going to have to dig back through all that. Man, it's a lot of work.
This past Thursday?
Yeah.
Which had been
somebody, another day I went to Walmart and get money. I had it with me.
Do you have a phone number for, Bill?
You need help with that?
Both. What's, being your phone number for him? Oh, can you bring his Facebook up and I can see a picture of him?
I don't think they have a picture. It's true. They may
Do
be,
you have a picture of him? Let me say that.
there might be a picture on here. No, I could look at the basket.
Yeah, I've got everything turned off on that one.
Yeah, but they don't.
But that's him. Okay, you can turn everything back off. He didn't sign that with him. Okay. Do you want this little thing by Bob or on the?
Let me know what's done. We'll fix my own back. Before you go back. You care about.
No, that's really good talk.
They have one second. We have very similar. You can cover them both. You get on really well.
Oh, that's good.
You got that?
Hey, the more people get along with you in this world, the better.
I was there 106. How big on the
Like I said, unless something changes, about 8:45 Thursday morning, I'll get these phones back here, maybe back. He's gonna be here, so you won't have to come.
I didn't turn, I didn't give a chance to turn. I put my to the ball.
Okay, I'll go back. Here's my card. Got my cell phone on there. You got it there? I'll take these phones, get them downloaded, and like I told her, when we step up this little side room, it didn't make any promises on what charges will be fine. We look at evidence. It goes above my head. So don't expect something, but don't disrespect
I
something.
don't have that.
But in the same sense, I want you to understand that we're here to look at everything. We'll see what we come up with. No judgmental towards you. I understand you were in a bad spot anyway around, no matter what happened in this situation. It was a bad walk for you, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. But I really try to get these questions and do the right thing and get the help.
Well, if you don't have any questions for me.
She said that she really tried to get the court system to do the right thing. She needed help. And he gave her the same song and dance that he gave the others. It's not my dealio. I don't make no decisions. It all goes above me. But you know how it was presented to the prosecutor or the AG. You know how it was presented. These women saw an opportunity to take advantage of this man. Unbelievable. All right, y'all, it's late. We all got to go to bed. We got school tomorrow. I'm sorry the beginning of this was so bad and it was so hard to hear. I don't think it was my fault, but if there was any of it that was my fault, I'm sorry. Just very unprofessional, very disappointing. All right, y'all. Say a prayer for all of our hillbilly family that are going through medical problems, health problems right now. Lord Jesus, we pray that you'll just lay your hand on each and every one of us, Lord. Whatever we're needing at this time, whether it be our physical health, our emotional, or our mental, our spiritual, above all, Lord. I pray that you forgive me for my sins, Lord, ones that I do and ones that I don't even know that I do, Lord. Please forgive us and help us to do better tomorrow. Well, thank you, Jesus, for saving my soul. And I just lift your name up in praise and worship. And we love you, Lord. We love you, and we're so grateful for all the blessings that you give us every day. We're thankful for waking up every morning, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all. Well, you all have a good evening. Sleep tight, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll start day 6, right? Day 6, I think, tomorrow on Daybell. All right, and Karen Reed is coming up. We are going to be watching Karen Reed trial. All right, have a good night, everybody. Bye, love y'all.
Can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You can't hide from hillbilly crime.
You may not know that there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. On the